I'm in a studio today with Honda's 0 Series cars. You guys, obviously these kind of look very future-y and prototype-y concept cars, but I can tell you that these two things, this is the 0 Series Saloon and this is the 0 Series SUV, both to be named something else later. These are definitely coming to the market in 2026. So we all know Honda says they're prototypes, but even their prototypes look a lot like their production cars. So we have a lot to be excited about with both of these vehicles. I personally can't wait to see these things on the road. Let's start with this one because this one I think is super interesting. This is their flagship. I love the way this looks. This is going to be super polarizing. As usual, concept cars, future cars are always that by nature. But I honestly think that there's so much interesting stuff going on here. This super sloped nose. Gosh, this kind of almost has Lamborghini vibes to me. These headlights, I think these are probably going to be a little bit different when it comes to production, because you'll see when the lights go off that these doors close, which is so cool. And then when they go on, they will automatically open up. So you can see there's carbon fiber right now on these things. The wheels on these things are amazing. These are 22-inch wheels. I love the pattern of these wheels. If you look at the profile of this vehicle, this is absolutely spectacular. I am so used to cars being so big now that belt lines are up around my neck. But you can see this is so low and unbelievably elongated and stretched. I mean, this definitely has executive car, kind of town car vibes to it. I'm kind of blown away by the whole shape of this. And then if you come back here, the rear part of it is super special. To me, this looks like something from the 60s or the 70s that was kind of trying to be futuristic and sort of forward thinking. But also we have a lighting signature here that has a sequence to it when you shut it off and then it goes to sleep, and then when it comes back on it's kind of got this so cool. The Honda comes up and then the turn signals are here and here. That's your left turn signal, this is your right turn signal, and then your hazards will be both of them. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. So yes, this is still this one is much more of a prototype than the SUV that we'll look at. So there is no kind of trunk that opens up as of yet, but I am assured that that will happen. Also, check out the back here. This diffuser almost looks like it's kind of got McLaren Senna vibes to it. So there are a lot of things that are going on with this car that I think are just absolutely spectacular. I don't know about you, but if I saw this thing driving down the street, I'd be like, what the hell is that? One more thing, the production vehicle obviously will have side mirrors. We are not yet allowed to have these cameras on here, but I don't know if you guys also noticed, there is no back rear windshield. So all of your visibility in the rear is also gonna be done through cameras through your rear view mirror. So let's hop inside and take a look at what's going on in here. So when this door opens, there's a really cool sequence that happens. And if you come around here, I will show you. So you're gonna see, we're gonna basically get into driver position. So this is the position of everything when you get into the car for better ingress. Then the steering wheel is gonna rotate around so your legs don't get in the way of this thing. This is amazing. And again, look at how low this roofline is, but I still have a lot of room, and you guys know I'm 5'4", but I have a really long torso, so there's still good room up here. I don't know how Mike Danger would fit in this thing, but I don't really care right now. Just kidding. I love you, Mike. The seats are really comfortable. They're really beautiful. They've got kind of this this sort of almost like Eames chair feeling to them. They're very designy, very Herman Miller. I love the design. They feel really comfortable. We'll see what these look like actually when it comes to production. I also want to show you guys the inside and this operating system, so come on in. So this obviously is for wall-to-wall screens right now. These are the two side mirrors, which probably are going to be different here in the United States. But you'll be able to see that there's a startup sequence here with their operating system, which is the Osmo operating system. For those of you who know, Osimo was originally introduced at CES about 20 years ago as like a humanoid robot. So now that operating system is here in your car. So this is a completely proprietary system to Honda. Nobody else has it. They're no longer sharing stuff with GM. Like, this is their own jam. And that is basically going to take over all of the systems here when it comes to like navigation, your music. The whole interface here is actually going to just be very seamlessly integrated. These are your different drive modes. The animations are really incredible. The screen, the colors, it's truly like a beautiful thing. There's just like a lot of really cool stuff that's gonna happen in the inside of this car. So if I'm buying this car, I'm guessing that this is like the sort of the executive car. Okay, it's a little weird to get into, but my back is also hurting, so this is not super elegant. But man, this has some big time lounge vibes going on back here. It's really, really cool. I definitely feel like I'm sort of in a first class cabin. The seat is really comfortable and the styling and the design here is really remarkable. Also, there's a little screen that's right here. You can't really see it because it's sort of embedded into the headrest, which I think is really awesome. But this is rad. Obviously, this is a little bit probably more practical when it comes to normal people cars. This is the SUV. This will be the one that first comes to market. And yeah, the shape is sort of familiar, but I think unique enough that it's again gonna be really super disruptive when you see it on the road. It also will have a really cool startup sequence here. So these little pixel lights are gonna come on and off when you turn the car on. There you go. I think that should have like a cool sound, but it doesn't. So maybe Honda, like, think about that. You can call it the Woodward sequence or whatever you wanna call it, that's fine. As far as I've heard, there's not going to be a frunk on this. It's a whole new platform from Honda. Again, that relationship with GM was very short-lived, so they've got their own platform, their own batteries, their own motors, everything that they're doing on their own. We don't have really details on that kind of stuff. I would assume that you're still gonna be single motor, dual motor on some. You can get them one or the other. What I do know is range on both of these. They are going to aim for a sort of a benchmark of 300 miles, which is always good to know. So let's kind of come around the side here and you'll be able to see again the profile. When you start here, it's sort of normal looking, but it's when you kind of come back to the back that it has this really sort of squared off look. Again, I think this is gonna be really interesting and sort of polarizing for a lot of people. Personally, I think it's very, very cool. Something that will be a complete head turner. So a couple of really cool things about this, like this is how you open this rear thing, is you put your finger in the O for the Honda and it will lift up. It's magic. And back here, you get this really nice space. This is your roof line. I mean, and this is pretty incredible, but you're really able to kind of use all of this space here. So you're gonna have really inventive storage areas. Honda's so good at this when it comes to seating and interior storage. There's one on this side and then there's another one on this side. I think this will lift up, but this one does not lift up at this point because this is a prototype. These seats will go down 60-40 split, just like you're used to now. So you're gonna have a lot of really excellent cargo space here. And then we're just gonna hit that and that's gonna close for us. So the interior of this is very similar. Again, you know, listen, we've seen the yoke steering wheel on a lot of stuff. I don't know if this is gonna make it to production, but certainly if it's an option, I think that'd be really cool. Again, the space in here, you've got probably a little bit more space in this one, a little like more headroom, which is pretty cool. You do have this kind of open roof, and I know that that can be also a little bit polarizing too. I think some people maybe want it to have some opacity, to maybe not be as bright or as hot. Honda may or may not do something about that, or have an option at least to have more of a closed roof, but it does give you kind of this very airy feeling. As far as the screens go, I think this is just kind of that general idea of how expansive it can be. There certainly will be different trim levels of the SUV, but I asked where the vents were because I'm not seeing any vents. And it's actually pretty cool because the vents kind of come out from here, they come out from here, but you don't have like physical vents that you can see and that you kind of feel and touch and that maybe kind of make the front dash look a little bit cluttered. Again, it's really super modern. I think the 100% screen thing is also going to be a little bit polarizing for people. I particularly like a little bit of a mix between screen and buttons. I'm not sure if there are ever going to be government regulations to that end, but here we go. Overall, like, it's just a really futuristic vibe, and I can't wait to drive this stuff. When it comes to the driving of the Honda 0 Series, what we do know is that the saloon will be completely drive-by-wire. So that's the reason why the steering wheel can turn around. So steering, braking, suspension, everything will be by wire. So nothing really mechanical that's going on here. When it comes to the SUV, we haven't heard any details yet. I'm gonna guess that this is gonna be more of a kind of a traditional car, so maybe a little bit of a mix of both, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because, you know, Honda doesn't talk about future products, blah, 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 blah. The 0 Series sub-brand from Honda is going to be one to watch. I mean, absolutely fascinating looking vehicles. The details on this stuff, on all of their proprietary, their chassis, the architecture, the motors, the range, all kinds of things. You guys, I'm so here for all of this stuff. And again, as we know, Honda is notorious for making their prototypes look exactly like their cars. I don't know anything on pricing yet, but I think we should have a lot more information on these things toward the end of 2025, beginning of 2026. So subscribe to the KBB YouTube channel and look out, because the future is now.